Go.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and one of the coaches at TradeView Markets. It is the 16th of September. It's a Friday, and you know, it's an OPEX day. They might be doing some funky things later on in the day. As they say, power hour. This is when I bring my microphone closer. Here's the microphone. Look at that freaking thing, like Letterman. As power hour, you know, between two, listen, there's I don't want to call it a myth. Everybody assumes that the overnighters, if you will, start getting in between whatever lines up, and overnighting means whatever their criteria is, and usually it's momentum driven. So usually at 2 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock Eastern, to 2:30, the overnighters start positioning, and they start to run the power hour at 3 o'clock, if you will. But this is an option expiration day, and the theme all week, if you go back to, let me sign in here. The theme all week in TradeGATEHub has been really either day trading. And by the way, we have several tools here. The people, including, we have 5 tools, 6 tool guys in here that trade several financial instruments at a high level. But for equities, considering where we are in the markets right now, it was more of less overnights. Again, that's predominantly what I do. The VIX is, where's the VIX right now? I don't really like to keep the VIX as on my screen, but the VIX is what, 27.5 over 30. I really don't take any overnights because the market gives us so many opportunities where, if I'm the wrong side, if I start down 6 figures, given the VIX would be elevated to the 30, I'd probably make that 6 figures back. I don't know, it is what it is, but coming in flat, I would like to be able to make maybe 3/4 of that. You know what I mean? So we're going to do a lot more day trading. I'm going to say something, and I wish I really would have listened to myself more, because day trading was easy today. As I say good morning or sign in, or show you how we signed in today. It was somewhat easy. Good morning. All right. I posted my target of 38.50, 38.60. I believe that was the low. Wasn't that the low of today? 38.60. I'll go back to the charts on the SPY again, but that was our level and our plan. 38.50, 38.60. Next relief bounce. If we can't hold at 38.30 as you're coming into a Friday, or as of today, 39.25 is really where the bulls would like to be. And you know what? We still have 4,000 as an overhead, and a lot of stocks are continually. We had a little relief bounce yesterday. Meta on Wednesday was down 15. Yesterday at one point it was up $2 or $3. It looked like it was going, actually it did go red to green, as they say. In fact, it's breaking new lows as we speak. So stocks like Microsoft, Apple, which I posted here, has become the most heavily shorted stock on the board. Normally I would say that's bullish. I just don't think it's a pure play on Apple per se. I think it's more a macro play on the market, considering Apple is one of the most heavily owned as well, and it's in all the indexes, and it's really not safe, meaning it's not going to be down 10% one day. You know what I mean? Just that type of a market leader or market leader, even on the way down. So, Apple, I'll even go to the chart on Apple. If I go to Miss TradeGATE, hold on a second. Here's the Apple chart long term. Here we go on Apple. So Apple, penthouse, from the poorhouse to penthouse to the poorhouse. Apple, what is today? Let's look at today's date. What is today? It says right there. What's the date? Pardon me, 8/16. So August 16th. 1 month later, Apple goes from 175 to 150. That's incredible. And it's still the most heavily shorted stock. You know what? It's getting to be oversold. And I get there might be, as we go to TradeGATEHub again, there still is a record amount of put options being said. So, God forbid they ever try to cover those. And I don't know if it's probably going to be a binary event where everybody rushes to cover. But even look at the weekly chart, it still has like I say, I don't care what they do or what they make. It's still a bear situation right here. As we go to Microsoft, MSFT. You know what? I'm typing too fast. Here's the chart on Microsoft. All right. You want to take a stab at a double bottom when the RSI, is that okay? But like I said, with this type of double bottom and going to the weekly, still some more time to go to 220 maybe. It's still almost, and I don't like to throw this word around a lot, but it's almost a binary move. It does not break that. If it breaks that double bottom, then it's got to flush out and then reclaim and then build and then hold. And then it's a very, it's not really the ideal situation we want to be as we look at Google. And by the way, everybody that's doing a webinar or webcast, whatever you say we do right here, everybody's looking at the same thing. Same thing with Google. This one happened to bounce a little bit. Maybe it'll pull this one was the first to bounce. It's still down. It's still down in the day. Microsoft, Apple. Here's Amazon below the gap. Let's see if it holds the gap. And you know what? Even if you're a gap buyer, here's the gap right here, 122. So the most you're going to get, even if it goes to the other gap, is 125. So you're risking $3 to be in a gap trade, which seems, arbitrary at best. To what the downside could be, like again, Amazon. So we go to the Qs, same thing. The SPYs, where's the line in the sand? I'm not sure yet. Here's where I would like it to be is what's that? 381.72. This gap right here. And by the way, this gap it isn't bad because we might go into an oil or something like it. Doesn't mean we're going into its technology stock. Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. But you know what? Even going longer term, I have a new list, a new chart of what I consider leaders or best of breed, or what to go into, and the charts will edify that. And a lot of them did have earnings and stayed there. This is a new chart. How about GLBE? Holding all the moving averages, really hasn't come down that much. That's the new best of breed, if you will. That one, if you want to build a long-term portfolio predicated upon if it's not dramatic news in their respective sector. Obviously, Fizzler is the best of breed. Run negative to positive today. Another one that's showing a great hand, best of breed. What else do we have? GFS, Global Foundries, still holding that flag pattern, this triangle pattern, whatever you want to call it, still holding very well. So that's acting very well. What's another new best of breed? I am thinking to start buying. Lewis, listen, I'm not going to talk you out of it. You know what I mean? I get it. Fizzler is a best of breed. I like LVS, the LVS chart. That's setting up. Had a nice day yesterday with volume. Let this settle down for a couple of days. Once again, it's almost, if we again hold around 38.40, Lewis is saying that if we hold around 38.40, and I completely agree with what he's saying right now. The sentiment is very poor. A lot of things are washed out. I don't know how much you're going to get, on the upside, but I mean, I'm not nervous because I'm in predominantly cash, but I'm never nervous. But stocks like the Starbucks, another one showed its good hand, sitting there very nicely. Another one you should be looking into. No financials, SLB, another one. So it's SLB, GLBE, LVS. Look at Uber. How about Uber? Now you know what I mean? Uber. That looks safe to go in. Now, I'm not going to preach that I'm an Uber guy, or I don't. Like I said, technically, it's doing the right things. It went up on not a short squeeze. It held up on good volume. It had the cup and handle based above 3 of the moving averages, still above the 200-day, and it came in with nice volume. So you know what? You have to see what your risk is and your downside as opposed to your upside. That's all. But I'm noting these ones. For example, a Net is not someone that I'm looking at, or Roblox. That's off the list. Twilo. You know what? It had a chance to go over, but it had news, and everybody knows I talked about Twilo. Let's see how that took time. CHPT, the charge station, acting well with all the other. So these new type of stocks are turning into the better position stocks. That is long term. All right, let's go back to TGH as we're here on a Friday, as I said again. Okay. Pardon. All right, listen, long term, as I said again, there are a lot of things that happen that are happening again, going into terms of time frames that I'm just again more uncomfortable than I even was when we were down at these SPY lows here. Let me go back to the chart on these SPY lows. So I believe it or not, I'm more uncomfortable building a position here than I am when I was here, because the sentiment and including options were completely off-sided. Yes, there's a lot of put options, but there's still a lot of green on the screen to run to, and I'll go there in a second. There was a lot of good new mining showing relative strength today, and that was Tim Fury positive all day long. Once it went green at 42.30, and then GDXJ did the same thing. GDXJ went right through a gap, I'm sure. I mean, you could have caught it nicely. Another one. Fizzler went negative to positive. Run did the same thing. Lennar was positive all day. It stuck. But certainly let's go back to Microsoft and things like that. Just not looking good. SC, I sold that well in the 66s. SC, that doesn't say a lot, but it was 67 3 days ago. No, it's 56. That's $11. So a couple of things I want to bring up again on a macro point, and why I'm not going to looking to really jump in, and why I'm a little bit more reserved than I usually am. Pardon. Okay, here we are. Did I put my microphone in? How you doing? All right. Example. The pound dollar falls to the lowest level since 1985. That is mind blowing. Another thing, U.S. 2-year yields are 3.9, the highest since 2000. So you're talking about major liquid financial instruments like the pound dollar and the 2-year, and they're doing things once again that they haven't been doing in, one is 16 years and one is almost since 1985, 40 years. All right. So keep in mind, in the first time in my career, as said in the Barron's article, let me pull this up. Cash is no longer trash. I don't like using those, those cheap cliches, but the point being is the first time in my career, cash is a position. So, maybe I'm a little older and think 4% is good. I don't. I mean, I'm not I make double percents, if you will, on an active account, but there's a chart, and I digress. There's a chart on AMD in Nevada. That's where we said AMD in Nevada at one point, both went positive. Nevada acting better than AMD. Nevada's 128, mind blowing. Keep in mind, you learn about, this is more important. And the good thing for me is I'm a contra trader, so there's always a bear market somewhere. Or I'm always on both sides. I apologize. So I'm always, when I'm on both sides, there's always a bear market in one of my positions, at least how I look at it, the P&L. So you learn a lot about yourself during bear market. So if ever, this is the time you got to be going back to the red YouTube channel, the red button, our YouTube channel, go to our videos. All days, mine's playing live, and the team posts right away. Now we have months and months and months, 9 months, 10 months of videos, but you don't really have to go back that far. If you want to go back to Monday, and Monday, as I always say, is the most amount of data that I put out, and it trickles down. It's almost a dynamic data till what's going on here. All right. Bastard. Yeah, it's almost dynamic as it trickles down throughout the week. Friday is not that much amount of data, because our plan, as it goes through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and as we say, we do a couple of videos edifying that, almost as a concluding with the power hour today on 3:00. And then we do it all again on Monday. That's the better thing. So that's the quote of the day. Macro position, FedEx joins Meta and Adobe, all making 2-year lows today. And they are 3 heavily owned in the S&P 100. So the indexes are actually driving stocks more today than anything. A couple of charts on the SPY wedge breakdown. Tesla upgrades, downgrades, as we always put it. Pre-market movers, what you have to do is blow it up a little bit. Today's focused always about the numbers. All right, listen, we're down nicely again, so we're very low. I don't know if they're going to snap them back in the proverbial power hour. There is some green on the screen, but those are once again the stocks that I highlighted before. AMD still down, AMAT still down. Meta's been, plummeting. It's still one. Here's the chart on Meta. I got out of some 2 days ago too. That was a good play. Meta went from 165. The chart on Google is just unbelievable. Google might hold. So you know what? Does it have the volume? Google does have the volume, but it's skewed because it's option expiration today. Hold on. See, this volume is skewed. It's an OPEX, so you don't know really where they sit. JP Morgan chart. All right, holding in there. You want to do something, maybe you take a shot on fast, making the ETF on the financials. Maybe you want to buy some here with a little bit downside. It's not as sloppy as the rest of the charts. Going back to TradeGATEHub, this is tactical sentiment. We're in the hole. I don't mind Blue Lewis trying to take a stab. Not only do I like taking a stab, he liked taking a stab at the proper level, which was where our plan was today. Lewis said 38.40. I said 38.50, 38.60. I get it. You know what I mean? Why he's trying to front run it. Just be disciplined. Jim Cramer. Trading. Flatten out at the end of the day. Okay, what else? These are the new stocks. Like I said, good charts. All I said before. And those are embedded in my mind. Any other questions? All right, here's the VIX. You know, you know what? There doesn't have to be any questions with this. No puts, Twitter feed. What are my guys doing? Anything? By the way, thank you for the team for posting right away on Twitter about our Fisker. Genuine bearish about very timely about promoting our videos. Thanks, team. Good job. Seriously. J1 bearish, SPWR bullish, solar, MPC bullish. All right, an oil driller, CGC. Coach would be happy to do that. They're going into canopy growth. The cannabis maker, sitting at $3 a share, not interested. Yale, CPNG, Intel bearish, Q's bearish, MU bearish, Tilray bullish. So a couple of sweeps on cannabis plays. Aside from that, you know, if I already looked at this Twitter, at this feed, which everybody knows I use actively, if not every day, actively, when I'm in trouble, we're in trouble when we're seeing JWin, CGC, some small plays. Nobody's taking any big positions at Amazon, Meta, Google, Microsoft, or they're covering. You know what I mean? I'm going back like 53 minutes, nothing. Baba bullish. All right, some guy. XHB. So let's go to Stitch Fix. So nothing. Let's go to what he says overall. Data. Is our data the week ahead. I'll post that later, as I always do. So nothing. Not even bull flow. Go to here. Apologize. This is what really matters when there's very little to do. And for those of you that have to trade, like me, no, I'm only kidding. It's all that matters right here. Up on high relative volume. Lucid. SO. Oh, this is bad. This says it all. Utilities. AEP, Southern and Company, J&J, First Energy, Duke Energy. They're running into Utes. You want to know why? Because you can either get 4% in cash or go into utilities. So let's look. What a shame. I don't even have to say that. That's horrible. Relative volume. What's on the big scale? See, you can tell right there. FedEx, UPS, IP, XPO, GE, Amazon. So you could get a picture of what's going on when they're going. The top list is utilities, and the down list on high relative volume is only at 1120. Granted, it's OPEX. Is a compilation of companies, from transports to GE, from Amazon to even Adobe has still that hangover in the takeover. Visa, Cash, Caterpillar Machinery, ISRG, Bio, PDD gave it back, so that's not good. You know what I mean? And by the way, that may seem that I may be bearish, but I understand why you might want a tactical buy because of this. Tactical sentiment's washed out. The S&P sentiment's washed out. You just got to look at your risk of reward and weigh your edges. That's all. So you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. So go over to here and look at new highs, new lows. Look at most active now. Look at trending. I don't like because we're not trend players. We're trend setters. How you doing? So that's it for now, guys. So I should be on after lunch. Zillow take over. Zillow had some option flow today. Here's another one. If you don't follow Stock Peak Scanner, look at this good information right away. 34 seconds of stock breaking down in the morning. All on our list here, right here. And that's what. Where am I going? UPS, GE, Riot, PDD, Mara. So in amount, you got airlines, you got paper, you got crypto, you got the leading China stock that's down. GE's basically the mutt of everything. And what's above what's above the high? So they're going to Dollar General. People are cheap now. You got to go to Dollar General to buy cheap spoons. I get it. Dollar Tree, same thing. All right, guys, I'll leave it at that if there's any other questions. All right. I thought it was a decent week. We stayed out of trouble. I know that's not I know that's not my goal to stay out of trouble. I mean, if I'm sitting here, look at Nutella. Look at Nutella, what it did to me. Nutella, and Nutella today had news. You know what? I'm going to show you where it is. I have to show you how to get these settings on it, where I buy and sell. Show executions. There you go. I'm buyer Nutella. Am I on the right thing? Because I'll leave it, man. This is why you just got to believe. Jesus Christ. Nutella had news today. So this is where it closed at 68. I started nibbling at 64, a little bit below the 65 strike price, no problem. And by the way, here's the long-term chart. I don't think it was going to completely break down. Granted, I saw the moving averages were all, the 60 to 61 area. So I'm buying the Tella 64. I'm buying this bastard all the way down to 59. So I started buying at 64 and it goes to 59. So my average price, buy me 10,000. So my average price 64 to 59 is like 63. So then the stock prints 57. I'm done $6 on the Tella. So here are my sales. I said, all right. I started selling it here at 63 and a half. And now I'm going to sell some right here. Position. Sell to market. You'll see it come up. Boom. There we go. So that's turning a loser. My average price, I'm buying it from 64 to 659. So my average price is what? 63, like I said. And it does a print at 57. So now I have to go to the chart and really hang in there. So it does a chart below. I'm like, I'm in trouble because if it retraces the moving average at 62, I'll take it. And I just sold the last piece here of Nutella. It actually turned it into a winner, a miracle. A minor miracle. Good trade, Mike V. No, you know what? Now, when I saw that going, what did CRISPR do? So CRISPR is the laggard, even though Nutella had the news. So the smart one, if you wanted, is probably short some CRISPR, even though that's the best of breed. It's a no play. I take it back. Latest on tweets. I'm getting a fan base here. All right. Nutella. Ooh. Am I still on this thing? Yeah, Nutella, Chewy, Etsy, sharing. Let me look at my screen. Long term. The SPYs today. The charts. They're in a range. SPYs. 384 to what? 383. Considering where we're going, you're gonna the VIX in a range. You know what I mean? They're gonna move one way or the other, like Lewis says. Just don't be on the wrong side. And don't be contra trading. Don't be contra trading, because then the margins come. God forbid there's a down open and you're stuck in that. They're going to funnel. You know what I mean? They'll just get out of hand. And only buy best of breed. So I'll leave it at that, guys. All right. Let me go back to TradeGATEHub, and great week. Review your notes. Review the videos on TradeGATEHub. I'm going to play Coach's 930 video. Then go to my notes and look at stocks with range, good price action and volume. And I'll be back after lunch, and we'll see you then. Have a plan and trade well.